All right, welcome back to Getting Sober. Again, my name is Jay, and today we're going to talk about the fact that it's not too late to start your sobriety journey. But first, if you haven't yet, don't forget to show your support for everybody here in this community who's on their own sobriety journey by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you care about your sobriety journey as much as we do, we have over 600 videos on the topic of sobriety and self-improvement, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel. All right, let's get started. So today is the end of Sober October, and congratulations to all of you out there that made it all the way through without having a drink. I especially want to shout out Jeff and Sam, who commented every single day on the comment section of our Sober October video that we posted about a month ago. We always make the promise to you that if you leave a comment in the comment section down below, that I personally am going to respond to you. So over the last month or so, we've been blessed to have at least 5,000 new subscribers, and I think about 10,000 new subscribers just in the last 2 months alone. So for those of you that are new to the community, don't forget to say hi in the comment section down below. As a matter of fact, say, hi, it's my first time commenting, and then, fill in the rest and say whatever you want to say. It's okay to tell your story. It's okay to say where you're at, talk about your fears, your hesitations, and reservations, but it's always important to remember that we are always going to have obstacles to overcome. It's always going to be important to remember to find the silver lining in any given situation. There's going to be no shortage of reasons why to drink, and it's our job to find reasons around the negative influences, including the people, places, and things that are going to continue to put us back into our old habits of daily binge drinking. And for those of you out there that didn't quite make it through all of Sober October completely sober, it's all right, because this community is no judgment sobriety. And that's what makes this community one of the best, if not the best community for sobriety here on YouTube. So if you're subscribed, congratulations to you. If you comment down below, congratulations to you again, because it's all about practicing positivity. I don't know about you, but when I was still drinking, I wasn't the most positive person. And when I sit down here in front of the camera, I do all the things that I need to do for my mental health, getting a good night of rest the night before, exercising. I just did upstairs. I did 15 minutes of cardio to make sure that I was ready to do today's video. I said my prayers, I ate my vitamins, and I made sure that I was my best self before I came out here to talk to you guys and to talk with you guys to give you the encouragement that you're looking for. Why? Because it's our job to make more better decisions today instead of worse decisions tomorrow. So what does that mean? That means that we're perfecting the recipe of our day, like we said a couple of videos ago. Each day, we're only in competition with who? With ourselves from yesterday. You deserve to be your best. You deserve to feel your best. And I know that there's people out there that aren't even sober yet, and you're in the right place. Not only do we have a ton of videos for you to watch, but we also have one of the best communities down in the comments section of all of our videos. If you don't believe me, then check any of the videos that we've put out. I personally respond to every single person who leaves a direct comment on all the videos by giving a heart, and in most cases, I would estimate in 70% of the cases, I actually sit there and I respond. I set time aside in my day to lay on the couch when I need a little bit of a break, and I hand respond to every single one of your emails, to your comments, to your DMs on Instagram or wherever else, and I make sure to catch up with you and make sure that I'm staying in touch so that you have the support and the motivation and inspiration that you need. I know that a lot of people here in the sobriety community or in any sobriety community don't necessarily like AA, and I don't have any problems with AA. How you get to sobriety is how you get to sobriety. There are a lot of people who have reported having great success in their local AA communities, but I hear a lot of people that maybe live in a small town and they feel like, well, I know everybody that's going to be there and I really don't want to see those people. And I get it. So that's why we try to make these videos as comprehensive as possible so that you can really enjoy each one, so that you can get a lesson out of each one, so you get some motivation and some inspiration out of each one. And then when you go down in the comment section, you see that there's other people out there just like you that are in the same position that you're either in currently or that was in the same position that you used to be. And so today, since we have so many new subscribers, I want to talk about a little bit about my journey, because I've been getting a lot of comments recently about how much I used to drink, and did I ever hit rock bottom? Did I go to AA? Why did I want to stop drinking? And I also want to point out a very important fact, which I didn't tell anybody, which is not the point of today's video, is today, actually yesterday, October 30th, is the 3-year anniversary of my current trip in sobriety, right? So you might be saying, well, wait a minute, I thought you started the channel 5 years ago. Yeah, I did. Started the channel 5 years ago, but about a month and a half after starting the channel, before we had our first view, before we had our first like, before we had our first comment, before we had our first subscriber, it was just me sitting here in this basement without all the colorful lights, without the production value, without the nice microphone and this very expensive camera that I have now. And I was just telling my story. I was very hazy-eyed, I was very tired, I was very itchy and congested. My stomach hurt all the time, I was bloated, I was cramped, I was still anxious every day, I was still depressed every day. Like literally every day I was actually diagnosed, I was diagnosed with depression. I was on antidepressants. I'd gone through 4 different therapists. At the time when I first started the channel, I was engaged. That ended shortly thereafter, after getting sober, because at that time, when I started the channel in 2018, it was the end of 2018. And then in 2019, I was freshly sober going into January, and then I found myself in a cross-country road trip sober with somebody who was not my fiance at the time. So that was part of my journey. All of the mistakes that we made, we are not defined by the mistakes that we've made. Mistakes are only mistakes unless you do what? Unless you learn from your mistakes. Everybody's sobriety journey is gonna be imperfect. And I've probably read close to 15,000 comments in the 5 years since this channel started. And I know of maybe only 2 people who tried to get sober for the first time and just stayed sober the whole rest of the time. And I think as we're approaching 30,000 subscribers, that's only 2 people out of 30,000 people and 15,000 plus comments, plus all the other sobriety communities I'm a part of. One of my favorite ones is the Sobertown podcast. You could check them out. They have long form content on Spotify, and there's actually a link in our video description down below. And why I mention them is because not only are they friends of ours, but the mission is simple: to try to help people get sober. Like I told you before, I don't have a book to sell you. I'm not gonna name who it is, but there's another sober content creator out there that's trying to sell people $6,000 to $8,000 packages to try to help you get sober. We're just trying to do it from our heart. We're trying to do it with the tools that I figured out along the way, from the books that I read, from the better habits that I've tried to adopt and apply to my own life. And a lot of those books I've put on our website. And I'll put the link up here. So if you wanna go to our website, it's a big list of like 50 or so books. Some of them are just about creating better habits, like Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is one of the best. If you haven't read that book or got an audiobook, I'm really bad at reading, so audiobook might be the way for you to go. Get that book. Listen to it on your break, listen to it on the treadmill, listen to it when you're starting to implement these new better habits into your life. Like maybe taking your new morning walk routine that you want to start, instead of waiting to start on January 1st when it's going to be cold and dark and depressing, right? We have to think about seasonal traumas too. And as Halloween here is coming to an end, what's up on the horizon? What's coming up on the horizon? We have Thanksgiving. And the night before, some people like to anecdotally call it Drinksgiving, because a lot of the college kids are coming home for the holidays. And that's one of the heaviest drinking nights of the whole year here in the United States. So not only do we have the day before Thanksgiving, we have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And then what happens? All the friends and family are gone. And now it's a new fiscal year. Your company has a new budget. They have new plans. They have new agendas, and it's colder than ever and it's darker than ever. And I think a lot of people at the beginning of the year, they think, well, it's going to be a new year and it's going to be a new me. But it's the darkest time of the year, and it's the coldest time of the year, and it's the most depressing time of the year. So it's important, like I said in the beginning of the video, for those of you that maybe felt like you fell short of staying sober for all of October, it doesn't matter. Did you get practice? Yes. And does that practice matter? Yes. And does that practice make progress? Yes. One of the messages that we preach here on this channel is progress over perfection. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, and as long as we know that we're not perfect, but we try our best each and every day, when we stay on top of our stress, when we stop gossiping, when we stay away from the people that are going to continue to make us want to drink, the people that get on our nerves, when we stop hanging out with those friends that are going to encourage us to drink and encourage our bad behaviors, when we spend more time with ourselves, that's when we start to see real change. What do you want? What do you need in your life? Do you need to spend more time at home? Do you need to spend more time exercising, changing your diet, working on the quality of sleep that you're getting, maybe cutting back on the caffeine, maybe also too the nicotine, the sweets, and the junk food? All of these things, you know the answer. You know what you need to do for yourself, right? We all know what we need to do. You can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it your ancestors, you can call it your higher self, whatever you want to call it. We're all getting the message, aren't we? We know when we should go to bed early. We know when we shouldn't go meet those friends out after work and go maybe to the gym instead, or go meal prep, or start working on making dinner for the family. We know that we should spend more time with the people that we care about the most and the people that need us the most. We know that we should be running towards the future self that we want to be and away from the past toxic self that we used to be. So again, practice makes progress. Don't beat yourself up because you had a drink last month, or you had 2 drinks last month, or maybe you were good for 3 weeks, but 1 week just really got the best of you. It doesn't matter. You're making progress and you're always welcome here. I'm going to say that again. You're always welcome here. I don't care if you drank last night. I don't care if you're drinking right now. Just don't comment in the comment section down below and tell everybody that you're halfway through a bottle of Jack Daniels, right? We want to make sure to keep the comment section healthy and positive and keeping people inspired and motivated. It's not just me, it's all of you too. Either you're a subscriber to this channel or you're actually helping us by joining this channel and making a monthly contribution. Either way, I want to thank you for being here, because the most important part of community is interacting. The most important part of community is knowing that there's other people out there just like you who've been through the struggles that you've been through. So I want to talk a little bit about my background, because since there are so many new subscribers, a lot of you don't know who I am or where I've been or why I wanted to stop drinking in the first place. So hi, my name's Jay. I'm going to be 42 years old this year. I know, hard to tell. But the point is, I'm in this great position now because I stopped acting like my future self and my current self were 2 separate entities. I know that if I pack my lunch today, that my future self is going to be appreciative of it. I know that if I make the coffee tonight, that I can maybe sleep in a little bit extra tomorrow morning. I'm always looking out for my future self. And I tried everything to get sober except for quitting drinking alcohol. Like I said, I was on the antidepressants, I was going to therapy, I was exercising, I was eating the vitamins, I was trying to stay hydrated. I had very healthy habits, but at the end of each day, I just wanted to escape. I just wanted to feel better. And I was daily binge drinking for 18 years. I felt like I wanted to be around other people, but the only way I can tolerate being around the other people who are drunk and loud and obnoxious at the bar was by getting intoxicated myself. And if you relate to that message, then that's a clear indicator that it's time for you to reevaluate the company that you keep. There's a difference between being alone and loneliness. Being alone is when you have your best thoughts. When you're alone, you're in your best company. You're doing the things for you that you need to do. You're working on your daily maintenance for your car, for your house, for yourself. You're scheduling those doctor appointments that you've been putting off. You're getting that teeth cleaning that you conveniently forgot about for the last 2 years because the last time you went there, they made your gums bleed. I get it. We don't always want to be the most mature and responsible version of ourselves because most of us work 40 or more hours a week and we just spent all day being responsible. We just spent all day taking orders from somebody else. But this is the time where you get to decide what your schedule is going to be. You allow yourself to be put on a schedule by a boss. And they tell you what you have to do. They tell you what your job responsibilities and what your duties are and all the things that you have to do before they're gonna allow you to go home back to your freedom each and every night. I get it. And after a long, hard day, and there's probably gonna be traffic on the way home, the last thing you wanna do is now I have to go to the gym, and now I have to cook healthy food, and I just wanna unwind and I just wanna live a little. I get it. But there are healthier ways to do it. We know that alcohol causes anxiety. We know that alcohol causes depression. We know that alcohol is the last thing that's standing in our way from having the life that we deserve. Personally, I'd rather live the last days of my life going through long walks through nature instead of long drives to my doctor to find out what's wrong with me now. I can control what I can control. And just like in our last video, we talked about the 5 healthy habits to start after getting sober. And that includes exercise, a better diet, taking supplements, working on your sleep. And if you want to find out what else we said in that video, click the link at the top of this video. So after I started the channel in 2018, fast forward a month and a half later, I was on that cross-country road trip I was telling you about. And just a few months later, my relationship of 7 years came to an end. And even worse, right at that exact same time, I found out that my dad was terminally ill from cancer, right? And so for me, that was definitely a rock bottom moment in my life. I had to fly out to Hawaii for the last 2 years of my dad's life and then come home to now an empty house. And then you might say, well, did that make you stop drinking? Not quite, because I, just like you, felt like, well, every weekend I want to throw myself that last bachelor or bachelorette party before I decide to get sober on Monday, which is also probably too the worst day of the week to decide to get sober. Now you have to go back in the office and get stressed out on the way to work in traffic. You have to go there and you have to be exposed to your coworkers and your boss and whatever they have to say that you don't want to do just so you can get back home. But first have to hit traffic and be stressed out all over again. We always say that the gateway to addiction is stress and trauma. And everything that we can do to get through the traumas in our past life and lower the stress in our daily life is going to help us to improve and get to where we want to go. So after I came home from the empty house and buried my dad, which was in early October of 2020, at the end of October, yes, I missed all of Sober October, even though I had a sobriety channel, but I wasn't making content because I was halfway around the country. I came back and I decided that I knew it was time to get sober. Just like you, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I knew that something needed to change. And I was the one that was standing in the way of my own blessings. I was self-sabotaging. I needed to be accountable for my own actions. And I know that you relate to that message because you've been hearing that in your own head too. And so the day before Halloween, when everybody would put on this mask and show their most clever and unique outfits, I decided that I wasn't going to wear a mask. I wasn't going to wear a costume. And I was going to take off this mask of who I thought that I would be. I was going to take off this mask that I identified myself with by daily binge drinking, by going to the club, by going to the bar, by staying up late, by surrounding myself with the people that weren't bringing me closer to my goals, but that were keeping me stuck exactly where I was and exactly where I didn't want to be. I was drinking on average at least 10 units of alcohol. And again, a lot of people think that, well, one drink is 1 unit of alcohol, right? Well, it's not true. It depends on what the ABV of each alcoholic beverage is. So we talked about in a previous episode, a 16-ounce pint of Budweiser. You might think, well, that's just one drink, so that's 1 unit. No, it's actually 2 units of alcohol, right? 1 3.5-ounce glass of wine is 2 units of alcohol. So I was drinking at least 10 units of alcohol a night, which was usually about 5 shots of tequila and then maybe 5 Coronas or 5 White Claws or whatever. At that time, actually, too, a friend of mine was getting a bunch of homemade moonshine. So I was including moonshine in with my tequila and my beer and whatever else that I was drinking, right? So I was never the type of person that was drinking a fifth a day or 2 bottles of wine a day, but we all come from different places. Personally, I just couldn't afford it. But there's a lot of people out there that can afford it, so they justify their behaviors because they maybe think that they work hard so they can play hard, that they can afford this lifestyle, and if they can keep up with this lifestyle, then, well, what's the problem? Well, the problem is your health is deteriorating. And every day you look in the mirror, it might look exactly like it did yesterday, but lo and behold, you're rotting from the inside out. You're rotting mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. I know that everybody here in the community reported saving a ton of money. That one's a given. But a lot of people are also too reporting having lower blood pressures, reducing the amount of daily medications that they have to take, or maybe even too, getting off all of the medications that they ever had to take. A lot of people report losing weight after getting sober, except for the people that developed a very strong sweet tooth after getting sober and found themselves snacking on a lot of junk food and pastries, cookies, donuts, desserts, you name it. I get it, me too. I was kind of an ice cream junkie myself for the first 3 months after getting sober, but we know better, so it's our job to do better, right? So for today's message again is to remember, practice makes progress, and progress over perfection. We have No Drink November coming up, we have Dry December coming up, and then we have Drink No More for 2024. So if you find yourself a little bit off track for Sober October, it's okay. You're not shunned from the community. I actually want you to comment down below and tell the community what your plan is moving forward, what changes you can make in your daily recipe to make sure that you have less stress today and a better day tomorrow. Because we're all learning from each other. I'm learning from you. I get some of my best content for this channel by responding to your comments. And some of you probably even heard some of my responses I gave to you in the comments section down below included in the video. So congratulations again to everybody that made it through Sober October. Congratulations again to all of you that are constantly commenting in the comment section down below. There's no such thing as commenting too much. I just might not be able to get back to you today. That's all. And we have a very big video coming up. It's 20 different ways to set personal boundaries in early sobriety. So make sure to stay tuned for that one. That one's gonna be coming out either tomorrow or the next day. And with that, I wanna wish you good luck on your self-improvement journey, and I will see you in the next video. If you wanna see another one of our videos, click here.